Hello friends, how are you? This is my first fanfic in English. I hope you like it. My name is Merlin. Pleasure. This channel will be exclusive for fanfics in English. I hope you like it. Well, enough of bullshit, keep the video. On a planet in the vast universe, life dwelled to inherit great powers from some ancient extraterrestrial powerful beings. The past was a great era of turmoil, and it still is. Crimes, wars, and murders were as common as sand in a desert. It was an era of uncertainty. Clans were formed to fight and destroy, or be destroyed themselves. Differences quickly grew to become ancestral hatred. Generations then passed, but the hate never subsided. But there was one group of creatures who kept themselves away from all this chaos, yet always found themselves being hunted by the people who wanted to spread even more chaos. These 9 beings were born of natural energy, the energy that runs the world, which flows through all, but rarely can humans sense it. Abandoned from a young age, these 9 beings grew to become powerful mighty beasts that could topple the world. But they never did it, because they didn't want to. They initially had an old man taking care of them, but eventually, that old man passed away, leaving them to fend for themselves in the strange world of greedy men. They tried to be friends with humans and, initially, they were accepted because they were very small in size and cute. But with time, they grew up to become bigger than mountains and people started to fear them, and with the passing of generations, the fear turned into hate for some odd reason. As the humans learned to control their own powers and mastered them, they started to see the 9 beings as tools of mass destruction and often tried to tame them and enslave them, only to die in the process. But the world never saw this as self-defense. They instead saw it as the 9 beings hurting humans. This universally made them known as the 9-tailed beasts. Even though they had vast knowledge and intelligence, they were still termed as beasts. They then kept to themselves, living in temples made for them by humans when they were still considered godlike beings and not beasts. 200 years before the foundation of Konoha. Haha, catch me if you can, Kara-chan. A giant beetle-like creature flew at a very high speed over the forest. Stop, Komei. We all decided on this. I am the eldest of all, you must listen to me. A giant, orange, 9-tailed fox ran after the beetle. I am lucky, Komei 7. No one can bind me in chains, not even you, Komei shouted back in his low-pitched funny voice. Although they were 500 years old and were very mature when it came to most things, they still had at least one character trait that overshadowed all others. Like here right now, Komei, who is jolly and fun-loving, and Kurama, who is arrogant and grumpy most of the time. You ate the tasty food stored for tomorrow, you will get punished for this, Kurama shouted. You can't punish me if you can't catch me. Besides, we only eat to taste it. So what's the big deal? Komei flew up. While the two were running around, suddenly, a bolt of lightning fell from the sky. It was white in color and covered everything in bright light for a few seconds. Boom! Whoa, what was that? Komei exclaimed and flew towards it. You dare to defy me, Komei? I will get you! Kurama was shouting from the ground as he saw Komei getting away. Both of them headed directly towards where the light had fallen. The more they got closer, the slower they got. Kurama eventually stopped chasing him and was basically running alongside him. Soon, they had arrived at a giant crater, so big that the forest in a few kilometers of radius had been turned into dust. What happened here? Komei questioned. Something fell from the sky, Kurama said the obvious thing. They both dashed towards its center. The closer they got, the hotter it became. But for them, it was nothing. Oh, I hear something, Komei exclaimed. They continued and after a few minutes arrived at the center. There, a flat stone was present, and on it was a naked little human baby. Around the baby, white sandy dust was floating. I feel an immense chakra from it. Too much in fact. Kurama got alerted and his fur stood up in response. What are you saying? Look at him, ah! So cute! Komei gasped. The baby was very small and naked. His skin was as white as his hair is. He looked human yet also not human. He looks like the old man, just without the horns and weird eyes, Komei noted upon observing him. Komei started flying towards him slowly. The baby was busy looking at the sky happily while making cute noises. He was new to all this and didn't have any idea of what was going on around him. To him, everything was fun. "Hello, I'm Lucky 7 Komei." Komei arrived near the baby. His towering body was so huge that the baby was eclipsed in a shadow. The baby's red eyes looked at the tall beetle-like being. He knew no concept of fear or scary monsters. As such, Komei was as new to him as the bright marble in the sky. He couldn't look straight at it. Eeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeeee Kome giggled hearing that. He's so cute. How did he come here? I bet he's not normal. Don't touch him, Kome, he could be from out there, you know what the old man had warned us about. Kurama advised Kome strictly. What are you saying? They sent a child to catch us? But I don't think he's one of them. Feel it, Kura-chan, he's totally made up of chakra, just like us. I sense no bones or blood in him. Kome observed. Kurama raised his eyebrow hearing that and looked intently at the baby. He used his senses to check up on him and, indeed, the baby had neither bones nor blood in him. He was fully made of chakra. How is this possible? Kurama wondered. What should we do? He's so small. Kome asked, looking at the baby. Leave him, I hate humans, they are so short-sighted and arrogant. Someone will either take him in or he'll die by the hands of nature. Kurama shrugged off and turned around. UWA. The baby made cuter noises. Kurama's furry ears perked up but he didn't look back. Meanwhile, Kome was quiet and stood close to the baby. He didn't have eyes, it was just a helmet-like shaped head. But, when he looked at the baby also stared right back at his face. This happened for a minute. They just looked at each other. All the voices around them had gone silent as if they were coming to some sort of an understanding between them. But you're not a human, right? You're just like us. I have decided. I'm adopting you. Kome proclaimed. He picked the baby delicately. Surprisingly, the baby didn't cry at all and instead, made cute noises and enjoyed being lifted in the air. Sadly, Kome didn't have soft fur and neither soft hands. So, he had to be very careful this time. He then flew back to the side of Kurama and didn't say anything. Good job, we can't keep a child with us, itwo. Kurama was still speaking. When he heard, ihi. He quickly looked back, his eyes widening, and he angrily asked, what are you doing? I'm a daddy now, Kome replied cheekily and hummed a song while continuing on his way. Are you crazy? We can't have a human child with us. Besides, when he grows up, he's going to hate us. Kurama argued. Kome immediately lifted the baby up close in front of Kurama's face. Look at him, does he look like he would hate you? Kurama stared at the baby's face. He was obviously very cute, to the point you can't even consider harming him. Boop. The baby suddenly patted the nose of Kurama. Kurama's face turned softer but he was still not convinced. When the humans find out that we have a child with us, they would tag us as kidnappers, or worse, man-eaters. Come on, he's not even human. When did you last see a human completely made out of chakra? Don't you see, he's just like us. Do you want him to go through the same things we went through? I'm sure the others will like him, you're just being grumpy, hey. Kome scoffed and ignored Kurama for now. Sigh. Does he even know how to raise a human child? Kurama muttered to himself and followed behind. Here, you carry him. Kome suddenly put the baby on Kurama's back. Before Kurama could angrily shout, the baby quickly made himself comfortable on the soft fur and fell asleep. Sigh. I'm gonna regret letting you do this, aren't I? He muttered. You bet, Kome replied and happily led the way. Kurama was treading very softly on his way back. He moved fast but in a way that his back would not be bumpy for the baby. At the moment, all the tailed beasts were living in a big temple in the eastern vast jungles. They were not always in harmony, but they somehow stayed together. When the two returned home, Kome loudly announced, "Everyone! Look what I found!" All of them left whatever they were doing and came to check it out. The baby looked at all the big strange creatures and smiled at all of them one by one. He's just like us. Made of chakra. I have decided to adopt him. Who else will do the same? Kome questioned. Jayaki tickled the baby with one of his tentacles. I can feel that he is similar to us. He is certainly not a human. Son Goku laughed. Gururera. I will teach him to jump on trees, except for tails, he's just like me. What does he eat? Saiken questioned. Kome was confused. I don't know. What do humans eat? Meat? Isabu wondered. Kurama scoffed. Hey, he's a baby. He cannot eat hard things. He will only drink milk. Where can we get that? Should we steal cows from farmers like before? Shikaku wondered. A dilemma indeed, Jayaki muttered. By the way, what's his name? Matatabi asked. Poof. Ah, he pooped, Shikaku exclaimed loudly. Kome at the same time shouted, I know. We shall name him. Puppy. Part 2. Kome at the same time shouted, I know. We shall name him. Puppy. No, how would you feel if someone named you an insect or someone named Saiken Fatty? Jayaki immediately protested. Yes, you're right. This is not good. What should we name him then? Kome thought hard before looking at the others for answers. Oh. I got one. Why not name him after his skin and hair? Shikaku suggested. All of them contemplated the name for a few minutes. What about Shiro? Matatabi asked. No, that sounds like a dog's name. Kome protested immediately. Shine. Shikaku muttered. Bam. He received a knock on his head from Jayaki. That means death. Kurama then came up with one name. What about Shiroken? Whoa. I like it. Nice. Cool. All of them gave their approval. But then, Kome raised another question, what about his surname? When my son grows up and goes to the human world, he will need one. Of course, because Kurama was the one to suggest it, he already had the surname sorted. He started drawing something on the ground with his nails and spoke, let's make it Dama. It is also related to our Bijudama. Next, according to what our old man taught us, Dama is the character representing the connection between heaven and earth. The single drop stroke on the bottom right of Dama implies heaven's essence on earth. Because he came from the sky and is made of chakra, he truly is heaven's essence on earth. All the tailed beasts had stars in their eyes hearing this. This was so fitting for the baby, it also referenced them, so it was the icing on the cake. They felt like proud parents already. Kara-chan, since when did you become so wise? Saiken questioned. Kurama scoffed, hey, I was always smart, you just didn't know it. Kome cheers, then from today, we all will have Dama as the surname, like a big family. Matatabi, a female, picked the baby in her soft paws and smiled, welcome to the family, Shiroken Dama. Owaye. They chuckled at the cuteness and the positivity brought by the little baby. Just not long ago, the 9 beasts were on the verge of breaking up and going their separate ways, but now, here they were, entertaining and naming a child. Now, one of you should change his poop clothes, Kurama ordered. What does he even poop? Isn't he just made of chakra? Son Goku questioned. Let's check it out then, Komei said and carefully took off Shiroken's makeshift diaper. Wait! Komei gasped. There is nothing, Shikaku exclaimed. Then what was that sound before? It also smelled so bad. Kurama wondered. Cough guys, actually, it was me, I farted. Saiken confessed. He is one of the kindest of all the siblings, but his only flaw is his stomach. Jayaki facepalmed himself. Poor Shiroken, he was nearly named Poopy because of you. And this is how the Big Dama family started. Shiroken was a very calm child and rarely cried. He didn't require a lot of food, so the tailed beasts did not have to worry much about it. However, even though it was mostly unneeded, they did get food for him all the time so he could taste new things. Thus, in this manner, little by little, 3 months had already passed. In the past 3 months, all 9 of them had turned into a parent for the child. Shiroken was also very comfortable with them, playing around them, and climbing their giant bodies as he pleases. At night, they would make a circle and have Shiroken sleep in the middle, keeping him safe from all dangers. Kurama, who had the best fur of all, served most of the time as a bed for the baby. After the first month, Shiroken started crawling and increasing the worry of the 9 beasts. But they all knew more techniques than possible related to tracking people. Are you sure? Last time we also stole the cow from here. Kokuo asked. Jayaki nodded. They have a milking cow. We can have milk for the coming weeks for little Shiro with it. Okay then, let's do this. We've tried offering them gold in return for food and drinks, but they so foolishly try to kill us. No need to care about them anymore. Kurama grumpily said. It was actually overkill for 3-tailed beasts to come to steal a cow. But, they had heard that people of the Uchiha clan were on the move, so they tried to be safe. Uchihas were one of the only clans that possessed the power to bind them. But even then, they'd need to be very powerful and have the highest evolved Sharingan, which was not an easy thing to come by. The 3 slowly walked to the edge of the treeline closest to the village. They got into the position and talked about the next strategy. Kurama spoke telepathically. Jayaki, you will be the diversion. You look the most frightening, nobody expects to see a bull with an octopus's body. Meanwhile, Kokuo looks like a horse. The last time I tried it, a kid called me Foxy and came to hug me. Haha, I remember that. Alright, I'll scare them. Jayaki agreed. Brothers, remember, do not hurt anyone. Kokuo reminded them. With this, Jayaki jumped from there and landed in the middle of the village street. Hey. I'm going to eat you all. Hey. Jayaki started shouting in the most non-threatening and uninterested voice. But people still screamed and ran away frantically. At the same time, Kokuo and Kurama went to the barn. Kurama had fingers so he picked the fattest and biggest cow there was. Kokuo picked another one in his jaws. But then they noticed the calves. So, they picked them too and dashed away. A quick and simple execution. Once they had entered the jungle, Kurama contacted Jayaki, return now, we got them. Jayaki stopped scaring the villagers and jumped from there back to the forest. The people took a sigh of relief, seeing that no one was harmed and nothing was damaged. It would take them a few days to realize that some of the cows had gone missing. The 3 brothers had purposefully traveled 1,000 miles to get the cow because they didn't want to lead anything back to their location, which they had changed now. Right now, they lived in the huge jungle, spanning hundreds of kilometers in the area. There was also no human movement nearby. Once they returned, they put the new milk cows down. All the tailed beasts gathered around. The 2 cows were scared to no end and were shivering. Out of nowhere, little Shiroken also appeared, now crawling on his 4 limbs. Gagamoomoo. He spoke something in his secret baby language that no one understood. He immediately went to the cow and climbed on its back. But then the cow started jumping around like crazy. All of a sudden, Kome exclaimed loudly, "Wait! Why does the cow have no boobies?" All tailed beasts looked carefully. Shiroken was laughing happily, somehow still staying on top of the jumping cow. Pat! Matatabi face-pawed herself. "You fools, that's a bull, not a cow. Who picked it?" "It was Kurama." Kokuo immediately cleared himself of the sin. "What?" They all looked the same. Kurama defended himself. "Sigh. You are arrogant and refuse to learn. You can't be the leader. I propose we select a new leader." Matatabi put forward the motion. All tailed beasts nodded. Shikaku immediately raised his hand. "I choose myself." Matatabi shook her head. "No, you can't vote for yourself. Also, you and Kome are not allowed to be the leader, you'll doom us." "Hey, don't do that to my face. I'm the smartest of you all, don't forget that." Kurama protested. "But you're also the dumbest and make stupid mistakes because of your inflated pride," Jayaki argued. "Come on, I am the best," Kurama said. "See, that's the problem," Matatabi added. Immediately, the voting was held and Jayaki was made the new leader. Kurama was told to work on his ego if he wanted to be the leader again. "Hey, what do we do with the bull now?" Kurama asked them grumpily. "Should we eat it?" Isabu inquired. Kome immediately shouted, "No, look how happy Shiro-chan is. Ahihihi. Aya aya." Shiroken was still on the bull's back, enjoying the jumps. He does look very happy. But, how is he still on the back of that bull? Saiken wondered. Look at his feet." Son Goku excitedly pointed. They all looked and found the baby was using chakra to stick to the back of the bull. He seemed to be doing it masterfully too, as he was also jumping on the back. I am excited about what his future will hold. He will certainly become very powerful," Jayaki commented. "But right now he is very vulnerable. We must keep little Shiro safe," Kokuo said. "Good, now, who will milk the cow?" Kurama quickly asked. But, he was given cold treatment because he is no longer the leader. Jayaki is, so the decision was his, it will be Kurama. "You have fingers so you milk the cow." "What? My claws will kill it." Kurama protested. "Hey, don't try to fool me, use your chakra manipulation to do it," Jayaki ordered and ignored him, to go and do other work. Seeing his plight, Shikaku smirked at Kurama's face and said, "Good luck, Foxy." Kurama grits his teeth, "You, trash panda. Shikaku, you will be responsible for cleaning the cow, calves, and the bull and disposing of their poop." Gyuki's order came from a distance. Shikaku's shoulder fell and Kurama started laughing. "Ha ha ha, serves you right. Space. Zzzzz. Some kind of a portal opened in the space above the earth. A single white-skinned and black-horned person came out of it. His eyes seemed lifeless and emotionless, looking as white as his skin. He didn't have any trouble existing in the vacuum of the space. The moment he came out of the portal, he looked at the planet below intensely. "So this is where it went to, but the god tree here looks underdeveloped yet. I shall find the essence first," he muttered to himself and flew down towards it. Part 3. Shiroken was a weird baby. He grew up very slowly. From his mind, he was like a blank slate, needing to be taught everything, even how to feel and how to react to pain. But, recently his body was starting to develop a little faster. All the Baijuyu siblings guessed that it was maybe due to Shiroken being like them, made of chakra, so it takes time for him to gather natural energy from the air and grow up. Well, some of that was really what a baby was supposed to be like, but the poor Baijuyu didn't know that. They just cared about making sure he was well fed, clean, and healthy. It had been many decades since all of the siblings got together to care for this strange baby. Unknowingly, they all got closer like never before. They still fought, squabbled and had their differences, but overall, they had each other's back. All because of a small baby coming into their lives. Shirōken has started to walk on his legs now, albeit while stumbling and falling. It was something strange for Kurama, as he had studied the human body before while eating them, and Shirōken didn't have any bones, as such. Why was he finding it hard to walk? He also did not start talking yet. And for the Baijuyu gang too, trying to avoid meeting humans was becoming very hard to do. Much harder because now they had to gather milk for the child. By now, they had terrorized about 20 villages and stolen their milking cows. Phew. It's hard work milking a small cow when you're this big. Saiken came beside little Shirōken and sat down. He was, as always, a sweaty blob. Kurama grunted, "You could have just made yourself smaller. But it's uncomfortable that way. Anyway, after doing it so many times, I have now become a master milker." Saiken proudly claimed. Sasa. Shirōken threw his play ball towards Saiken, telling him to play with him. Saiken is one of the kinder-tailed beasts and he is also very energetic. "Yes, let's play." He cheered and threw the ball at Shirōken for him to catch. But, Shirōken was too small and the ball directly hit his face, leaving behind a red mark. If it was thrown by some human it would not have done anything, but an almighty tailed beast threw it. Leading to this. All of a sudden, a strong silence ensued around them, as all the tailed beasts present looked at Shirōken with a sense of uncertainty. All of them were scared of his crying, because although he rarely cried, whenever he did, it was so loud they would feel their ears would burst. "Arg! You dumb fatty!" Shikaku cursed. "Cover your ears!" Isabu whimpered. Shirōken sniffed a few times and looked like he would cry at any given moment. But then he suddenly smirked at all of the scared-tailed beasts. Kihi. Thud! All of them fell down, relaxing their bodies. Kurama came to Shirōken and put him on his back. "Haha, you are getting smart, boy. Good, there is no advantage in being dumb like Shikaku or crazy like Komei. What did you say? Fight me. I will show you I am stronger." Shikaku jumped up. Kurama ignored him. "Go away, raccoon, I have already defeated you tens of times already. But I have learned a new sealing technique, and come fight me in a desert this time, I will make you eat dirt there." He boasted. Desert is his most suited region and he felt the strongest there naturally. Kurama didn't even reply to him and just went out of their camp to stroll around with baby Shirōken. In the past 20 years, he had come to like Shirōken. Initially, he just shrugged the presence of a baby in their camp. The only ones who really treated Shirōken well, were Jayaki, Komei, Saiken, and Kokuo. Meanwhile, Shikaku, Kurama, Isabu, Matadabu and Son Goku didn't really bother him. This was because Jayaki was just interested in the strange baby made of chakra, Komei is a happy-go-lucky person and just liked Shirōken, and Saiken is an energetic being but kind too, so he felt like helping when others didn't. This left Kokuo who is indifferent overall but would help if someone asked him, as he is very polite. Shikaku, Kurama, and Son Goku detested humans. Isabu and Matatabi didn't care about him, but still held a bit of hostility because Shirōken looked like a human. As Shirōken didn't know what anger or hostility meant, he would constantly get close to all of them and play. Sometimes hugging Kurama's fur and falling asleep, sometimes swinging or climbing Gyuki's tentacles, playing with sand while sitting on Shikaku's head, making weird drawings on the ground with Son Goku and playing catch-ball with the cat-like Matatabi. He was around everyone and slowly became a part of their life. Every night, they would sleep around him and every morning the first thing they'd do after waking up would be to check on him. There was once an incident, where he went missing but was later found sleeping on the back of Kurama. He was so small that he had disappeared in the fur. Slowly, all of them felt like Shirōken wasn't really a human. He might look like one, but his body is made of the same material as them. Hence, he was considered a part of their family. Haha, enjoying the air, Shiro? Kurama asked as he steadily ran through the jungle. Because of Shirokin's skin and hair color, he was called Shiro for nickname. Ah yeah. Shirokin affirmed with his cute voice and a toothy smile. Good, today I will try to teach you what we call Bijayudama, Kurama revealed and turned towards a giant canyon. But, while on his way, he saw a large group of humans traveling together, towards the same canyon. He stopped in his tracks and tried to listen to what all the people were saying. He used his chakra to make a bubble around Shirokin so his voice does not go out. Ah! Village chief, how long will we have to travel? Even the bulls are tired now. A young man asked another old man. The old man, supposedly the village chief, replied, even the women are not complaining, why are you? We must go further. Because no matter how much distance we keep from them, the bloody flames of wars between the Senju and Uchiha clans will keep on expanding like wildfire. We lost so many people this time, just because we were in their path of destruction. In the eyes of those mighty shinobi, we normal people are nothing but meat bags. No better than the bull you were cursing just now. This whole group of about 150 people consisted of mostly women, children, and the elderly. They had a few carriages to carry their luggage and food. Most of them looked sad, injured and hopeless. Their whole village was destroyed by that big green skeleton monster made by one of the Uchiha clan's people. Most people here had lost someone dear to them. They had traveled hundreds of miles in the past 8 days, just wanting to find a faraway place to live in peace. To again build their village. Ma, I'm hungry. A little boy, about 5, called out his mother, who was walking alongside the carriage on which the boy sat. She was bleeding from her feet, as her bamboo sandals had already waned out. Just a little more, Jin. Just a little more. Ah, she tried to assure him, but her feet were hurting too much now. Iou. All of a sudden, a cute gibberish-like sound fell in her ears. She looked around herself to see where it was coming from. What was that? Did I lose too much blood? She felt scared that she would die at this rate. Her son, Jin, only had her now, as her husband had just died in the village. She looked down to see how much blood she had bled ever since they stopped here to drink water. But, blowing her mind to the 7th sky, there was a baby nearby her on the ground. And the baby had kept his arms above her feet, emitting some kind of bluish light from his palm. Ah! I feel no pain, she loudly exclaimed. Attracted by her voice, a few people near her came over. They saw the cute little naked baby, miraculously healing the woman's feet. After a few seconds, her feet were as good as ever. Then, the little baby turned to another set of feet, healing them. In the baby's defense, he was just crawling and couldn't see the faces of people. One by one, he healed the feet of all those who were severely injured. Hey, who are you? The little boy from before, Jin, jumped down from the cart. But, the baby was too small to reply. Oh, he's so cute, Jin thought and quickly proceeded to pick the baby. Okay, from now on. You are my little brother. He declared. Papa. The baby patted Jin's head twice with his chubby palms. Jin immediately felt full. Whoa, what a magical brother. He was awed. The same was the reaction of all the people there. They were asking each other who this baby was. But, none had the answer. Some even started to say that he was a guardian angel. Kurama was busy listening to the two humans at the front of the caravan. He scoffed after listening. Hey, humans, never learn to live in peace. Always fighting and killing their own. Let's go, Shiro. We have training to do. He said and turned around. But... where did he go? Shiro. Shiro. He shouted loudly. His voice resounded around the whole forest, and in response, he heard the loud cheering of Shirokin. Ah, how does he get around my chakra? he cursed himself for his lack of awareness. He arrived at full speed, jumping out from the middle of the trees, stomping over many of them. With each of his jumps, the ground shook. The 150 people in the caravan shivered in fear, thinking what calamity they had to face now. Grrrrrrrrrr. Kurama had his fangs out as soon as he saw Shuriken in the arms of a human. "Give the child back!" he roared, so loud that each felt their hearts vibrate. Jin, the little boy who was holding Shuriken, felt his legs freeze. All were feeling that, but he was feeling it more because the huge red fox was looking straight at him. All the people immediately kneeled there and started praying together. "O great protector spirit of the jungle! Please let us go. We did not mean to anger you. O Griya!" But, immediately the old village chief ran in front of little Jin, covering him. He knows what this fox is. He had heard about it from his own grandparents. That this beast was once a fox living in a temple, for the purpose of protecting it in a forest region. But humans kept on destroying the forest, turning the fox into such a ferocious beast. "Great protector of the forest! Please spare us. We have lost everything already," he pleaded. "Give Shiro back. Now!" Kurama roared. Nobody could be so dense as to not understand who this Shiro was. There was only one miraculous white-haired baby around them. The village elder took the child from Jin. But Jin, although afraid, started protesting. "No. Don't. The fox will eat him. Stop. Aya. Gugu." Shuriken was waving towards Kurama, wanting to get back on his soft fur again. But, Kurama heard what the little boy said. He was ready to defy him, someone who could kill all of them here in a matter of seconds. "Leave him, Jin. Do you want all of us to die? We don't know this baby." The village chief fought. "But, why you said babies are the most innocent and purest stage of a human cycle. They must always be protected. How can we let him die?" Jin cried. It was strange how he was fighting so strongly for Shuriken. Maybe Shuriken did something to him or he felt something for Shuriken. It was obvious for all that he was being stupid, but brave. Immediately, a village member dragged him back and covered his mouth. The village chief lifted Shuriken up towards Kurama. "Here, please take him and spare us. Please." Kurama growled at them to scare them, and then slowly brought his face near Shuriken. "Hee. Cuckoo." Shuriken patted Kurama's nose. Then, to the horror of all the people there, Kurama opened his mouth and gulped Shuriken whole. Part 4. Dread and fear swept everybody's hearts and minds there. The big fox just ate that magical baby. Jin, who was until now still protesting, turned silent and started crying. "Why did you eat him? You can speak, you are smart, just why?" Jin asked Kurama weakly. "Strong prey on the weak. That's the law of the universe. Now, hand me all your cows." Kurama ordered them in a threatening voice. "Please, let us go. If you take our cattle, then we are as good as dead. Or, just kill us all. That would be a much better fate than to slowly starve to death." The mother of Jin voiced angrily. Anger was a quick way to get over your fears sometimes, but certainly not a wise thing. Kurama laughed, "Ha ha ha, fine, you asked for this." Everyone closed their eyes, to not know when death came to them. "Heya!" But, all of a sudden, the voice of that baby came to them once again. Jin immediately opened his eyes when he heard that and saw that Shuriken was as fine as ever. He was hanging from one of Kurama's nostrils while waving one arm around. Kurama felt like punching his own head after this. It was impossible to contain Shuriken if he didn't want to. But, he had a much bigger problem now, he needed to sneeze. "Oh! Triple A! Achoo!" He faced towards the sky and sneezed. Poor Shuriken was thrown upwards as he saw what it was like above the clouds. he then looked at the sun and the beautiful sea of clouds underneath. Then, he started to fall like a missile, whistling down. But for Shiroken, it was all fun and games. Ah ha ha ha. Kurama got nervous on the ground. Will he die if he falls from there? I remember he was fine when we first saw him. But he decided to not take his chances and catch him mid-air. So, he adjusted himself and looked up from where Shiroken would fall. After 2 seconds, Shiroken became clearly visible to all of them. Kurama held his hands out to catch him. 100 meters. 50 meters. He was so fast. But, poor Kurama miscalculated and this led Shiroken to fall straight on top of his furry head. Boom. Ow. For the first time, Kurama let out an animal-like cry. A big bump swelled on top of his head. Meanwhile, Shiroken was simply sitting on his back, relaxing on the fluffy red fur. Kurama looked back at Shiroken in annoyance. What kind of revenge are you taking on me today? Shiroken yawned and started making hungry signs. It was simple, he would start trying to eat whatever was closest to him. Right now it was Kurama himself. Kurama turned to the villagers. You have milk for him? Yes, yes, we have some. They meekly gave it to him with no questions asked. Kurama simply took one of their empty buckets, poured all the milk they gave him and held Shiroken near the bucket. Shiroken also started directly drinking it. Boredly, Kurama looked at the various villagers who were cowering in fear, and feeling the uncertainty looming over their lives. Where are you going? He asked them. Across the canyon, to new lands. The village chief answered immediately, not wasting any time. Kurama was a smart guy, so when his eyes fell on all the cows, he had an idea form in his mind. If I can kidnap them and make them provide milk and food for Shiro, we will never have to worry about anything. Brew brew brew. Ah. Kurama saw that he had dipped Shiroken too much into the milk, so he pulled him slightly back. Everyone there was secretly shocked and confused about what was happening. First, it was the blatant child abuse of a baby that did not die even after falling so high from the sky. Then there was this big scary fox beast taking care of a baby like it was a normal thing. Humans, do you want a safe land to live on? A land which will always be protected from those pest shinobi? He asked. Everyone's heads nodded automatically. Good, then just do as I say. I will give you land to live on, and in return, you will feed Shiro here some milk. I, and my siblings, will protect you if you don't try to fight us or call us names. Okay. Kurama asked/ordered them. Can we think about it? A man from the group asked. Kurama showed his fangs. Can't I just eat you all and be done with it? We are definitely hostages now, the man thought, and surrendered to his fate. Kurama has the innate ability to sense negative emotions, so he knew what all these people were collectively feeling. If you stay honest, I will not eat you. You will also get protection. The place you are going to is also infested with shinobi. As such, even there you can die easily. Decide fast now. Shiro is almost done drinking his milk. Everyone's eyes nearly fell out when they noticed that the little baby had really almost finished drinking the whole bucket of milk. Then, it seemed that the bucket was their hourglass. The moment it gets empty, their fate will be decided. It was now up to the village chief to decide. All others will follow, as they have done till now. A long moment of silence ensued, with only the sound of Shiroken cutely gulping milk being audible. Then, the old man's brows fluttered and he opened his eyes. We will accept your offer, great forest spirit. We will follow you and establish our village where you tell us. But, you must promise us that you will keep us all safe from any harm. The village chief said with a dignified expression. Kurama also knew that he shouldn't push them too much. I will keep you all safe, from all except me, because if you mess with me, yes, you will eat us. Please lead the way, and I am Rakumatsu. He bowed towards Kurama and introduced himself. All others followed suit and bowed. Kurama, for the first time, was seeing humans actually bowing to him and giving him respect. Although there was a hint of fear, but still. Thud. Kurama turned his head and saw Shuriken had fallen in the bucket as it was empty. He was now just licking it clean, a proud thing Kurama had taught him. Then follow me, and be fast, Kurama ordered them and walked deeper into the forest with Shuriken sitting on his head. Pa pa pa. La. Coo coo coo. Cho cho cho. Shuriken made cute noises from the top while patting Kurama's head as if it was a drum. His smile and positive energy were surely relaxing for the people following close behind. Kurama was using his powers to make way for them through the jungle, or else they would never be able to bring their carriages. He was still covering his tracks though. Kurama's towering height made it very hard for them to get lost in the forest anyway. But, poor folks didn't know that Kurama had run more than 100 kilometers before, and now it was a journey back. Being a little considerate, Kurama let them rest every now and then. But it was still going to take them too long. Just when they least expected, a voice came from the sky, Shiro-chan. Kara-chan. Where are you? It was none other than Komei. He must have come looking for them as they had not returned in a day. Soon, Komei noticed the large form of Kurama and flew down to them. You are here. Why did you not return already? Komei asked Kurama, who just sidestepped for Komei to see the people. Seeing this horde of people, his helmet-like head shined. Kara-chan, I thought you stopped eating humans. Kurama then proceeded to explain who they were and why he was bringing them along. That was all it took for Komei to accept it. Don't fear me, little humans. I am Lucky 7 Komei. All of you, get into your carts and carriages. I will bring you all with me. Komei excitedly told them. But, seeing they were not moving, Kurama growled, Do it? I don't have time to take 10 days to get somewhere I can reach in minutes. Everyone scrambled to get onto the nearest cart. Then, Komei lifted them with his claws and flew to the camp. It took him 2 turns to take all the people with him. Kurama meanwhile was back in speed mode and leapt through the forest. In just 15 minutes they arrived home. Currently, all the people there were on the ground, cowering in fear at seeing all the 9 giant figures at the same time. Just one single Kurama was like a nightmare to them, seeing all of them at the same time made even a few of them faint. Who are these humans? Why are they here? Shikaku protested angrily and even ran to kill a few. But Shuriken jumped down from Kurama's head and stopped him. Kurama explained the details then. All of us have no experience in how to raise a child. For now, he only drinks milk, but later he will need to eat. And we don't even know what a child can eat and what he can't, so what if he becomes sick because of that? Kurama used Shuriken's health as a reason because he knew, no matter how angry Shikaku was with other humans, Shuriken was someone he cared for dearly. But Shikaku muttered. Jayaki became the voice of reason at that moment and agreed with Kurama, Calm down, Shikaku. These humans are not shinobi. For us, even those shinobi are as easy to deal with as insects. If these humans go against us, we can wipe them out at any time. But there is no harm in trying. Do not forget what the old man had taught us. Now that the topic came to the old man, all of them turned silent. Shikaku just huffed and went away angrily. These are all my siblings. We may look like beasts, but we are far smarter than you all combined, so take my warning and never try to betray our trust or harm Shiro. If you do. Gyuki's round white eyes turned red and it was a clear message to all. Rakumatsu kneeled at them and vowed, I vow that neither I nor any member of my village will go against you. We just want to live peacefully. Then as long as you desire it, peace is what you will get. Matadabi's feminine cold voice warned them again. Kurama was happy that all agreed with his plans. This made him truly feel like he was the leader of all siblings, like he always considered himself. So he instructed the villagers, "You all may establish your village here. Use the wood from the trees around here to create your dwellings. As for the cattle," he simply waved his tails and created a quick shed and fence for the animals. Rakumatsu thanked him again, "Thank you, Great Spirit. But, what shall we name this village?" Oh, I know, let's name it Milky. Because they live here to give milk to Shiro." Komei once again gave one of his stupid suggestions. Part 5. Oh, I know, let's name it Milky. Because they live here to give milk to Shiro. Komei once again gave one of his stupid suggestions. Bonk. Son Goku smacked Komei on his helmet-like head. "That sounds so dumb. This will be little Shiro's home. When he grows, he will become famous around the world. How will you feel when they call him Shiroken of the Milky Village? Humans are scum, they will make fun of him." All the villagers there kept silent, although their species was being trash-talked right now. They silently agreed, Milky was a very bad name. And on that subject, this flying spirit should stay out of naming stuff. Still, nobody had the guts to say it out loud. "Hey! That's a stupid name. Wait. Did it come from one of us? Jin. Whyy. All the villagers cursed the boy. Kurama's eyes fell on the boy who was ready to die to save Shiro. He couldn't say he liked the boy, he'd even kill him without thinking if he had to, but he could tolerate the boy for now. "Come here, boy," Kurama called him out. Jin scaredly walked forward. "Why yes. Great Spirit. Haha. I like that, all of you will address us as Great Spirits from now on. Even Shiroken included, as he's not like you humans. He's above you and much better than you." Kurama boasted. "Yes, Shiro is the best, aren't you?" "Ah." Komei flew to Shiroken and started playing with him by tossing him in his arms one by one. All the villagers were just slowly becoming numb to all the heaven-defying things that were happening in their life. "Boy, what do you suggest we name your village?" Kurama asked. Jin thought for a while. He looked at the white-haired and white-skinned cute Shiroken. Does Shiroken have a last name? That is Lord Dama for you. He, as well as all of us siblings, have a common last name, it is Dama." Kurama corrected him and answered. Jin nodded, What about naming the village Dama too? People will call him Lord Shiroken of the Dama village. I like it. Komei of Dama. Hehe, that sounds good. Komei affirmed. It's settled then. You shall establish a village here and name it Dama. All of you lack last names, so you will take Nidama. It means the second Dama. Now get to work. Kurama ordered them. The villagers jumped with joy and got busy. They took their tools and went to chop some trees. Meanwhile the old village chief, Rakumatsu, sat down. So we will be like family to Lord Shiroken, Rakumatsu said, trying to make small talk with Kurama. Hey, no, servants. Kurama corrected him. Rakumatsu then decided to shut his mouth, or he might find his status turning lower than a servant. The day went on normally. The people tried their best to ignore the towering figures of all the tailed beasts and focused on building their new home. There was not much for now, just some simple thatched huts. They needed shelter first of all. By evening, they had erected a basic structure with a roof. The walls will be built later. They realized that with these huge powerful spirits near them, there was no way that any wild animal would dare to come here. Now, it was time for dinner. A few men had gone hunting and had brought back a deer and a few more rabbits. It was enough for all of them. But, it was Shiroken they were supposed to take care of. So they milked some of their cows and brought the milk to him. Shiroken was currently playing between an encirclement of Isabu, Jayaki, Kokuo, and Matatabi. He would throw his play ball at them and they would return it. Lord Shiroken, we brought milk. The mother of Jin came with the bucket. A strange utensil for a child's drink. Put it there, we will have him drink it. Matatabi signaled with her paw to leave. Soon, Shiroken got hungry and saw the bucket. It was time to have a milk drink bath. He went ahead and drowned his head in it to drink. All of a sudden a cry came from behind Jayaki. Saiken was there, with another bucket of milk in his tiny hands. How could you, Shiro? Where did you get the milk from? I thought it was my job. Saiken said sadly and heartbroken. Kurama brought some humans as Saiken's servants. They will take care of his food now. Jayaki told him. But, it was not enough. Saiken had decided he was going to throw a tantrum. Why? I was planning on becoming the very best milker in the world. I wanted to be the best, now how will I? What use are my cows that I painstakingly cared for now? It seems Saiken was too much into his new job. The poor Baijuyu had to practice a lot to not scare the cows and still get the milk out. Pat pat. Calm down, you can still milk the cows every once in a while. We've got even more cows now. Why don't you bring yours and tie them up with the rest of them? Jayaki consoled him. Sniff sniff. Okay, I will do that. You wait, I will bring them here. Saiken once again left. Everyone sighed with him gone as there was finally some peace. Kokuo rested his head down and closed his eyes. It's always noisy with him and Kome around. But they keep us entertained. I swear that, without them, I would have gone crazy living in this forest, Isabu added. Indeed, they are a curious bunch. Always having some strange thoughts in their heads. They are kind from their hearts, old man told us to take care of them in Isabu. Can't believe we were about to separate from each other, maybe Shiro is a blessing to us from him. Wherever he is. Jayaki said while remembering the past. Thud thud thud. What now? Matatabi sighed in frustration. Stop them. Stop them. Saiken's panic-filled voice came from a distance. Soon, the view of a lot of cows running towards them came. They were headed straight towards Shiroken. Where and when did he get so many cows? Kokuo wondered in shock. Stop them before they reach little Shiro. Jayaki used his tentacles to stop many of them. The rest were stopped by Matatabi, who created a fire around them. Soon, Saiken's fat blob-like body arrived while sweating profusely. Ha, thanks. I just opened their barn door and they ran out. Saiken, I thought you only had 5 cows. When did you get this many? Isabu asked him. Oh, well, that was many years ago. Those cows gave birth to new babies, then those babies got big and gave even more babies. Saiken innocently explained everything. He was, unknowingly, running a very successful animal husbandry. How many are there? Jayaki inquired. 40 cows and 5 bulls. They are my life's hard work. Saiken proudly claimed while wiping off the sweat on his head with his tiny arms. Pfft. Saiken, you are hundreds of years old, and for the most of it you just spent it sleeping. Isabu reminded him. So what, I had my awakening, and I know what I want to do in my life now. I want to become the best milker ever. Yet. Saiken announced. Yaa. Shiroken also raised his arms to cheer him up. He had finished drinking his bucket of milk. Yes. Shiro, only you believe in me. You are my favorite. Saiken picked him up and hugged him softly. In the beginning, Saiken's slimy body used to bother Shiroken a lot, but now Shiroken didn't mind because he loved all of them equally. Go to sleep already. It's night. Kurama roared from one side. Hey, lazy bum. Come, Shiro. We will put these cows in a new barn. Saiken scoffed and got to work. He also got the help of Jayaki, because his tentacles were as good as having a lot of arms. Slowly, days passed. The fun life of all the tailed beasts and Shurioken continued. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Each day, Shurioken would also go to make rounds of the whole new village, which wasn't much big to begin with. The people would call him Lord Shurioken and bow to him. This respect was earned by him in recent days, as he was the so-called miracle child. He had healed a number of sick or injured people. His smile and different looks made him stand out too much. Hence, the reputation. Aside from this, Shurioken was also getting his training sessions from Kurama. Shiro, just do as I do. Open your mouth and concentrate your chakra above it, then. Boom. Kurama threw a small Bijayudama at a mountain in the distance. Even though it was small, the destruction was huge. Wah-ay-ay-ay-ay. Shurioken cheered. Haha. Now you try. Kurama motivated him to give it a go. Shurioken cutely opened his mouth and made a noise. Ay-ay-ay-ay-ay-ay-ay. Thuu. There was no Bijayudama. Only a large puddle of spit. Kurama's excited tails fell down in disappointment. It seems I need to teach him all the way from the complete basics.
Dá like! Dá like! É sério, dá like, por favor.